Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, summoners of all ages, welcome to the Games XP Championship Season 4. Already Season 4, and it's already Week 6. My name is Hickory. You haven't heard my voice in a little bit because I've been off in the Netherlands, losing my voice constantly, being sick. But tonight, I am bringing you, alongside my good friend Quasar's, Reign of Kings versus NFG. No F's given. Really quickly, before I bring in my color, I just want to mention that Reign of Kings is sitting at 3-6, and NFG is sitting at 5-4. So both of them do have the potential to make it to the playoffs, but now is really crunch time to pick up some wins. So Quasars, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Well, I'm pretty good. I like I was saying, I just got my hair cut for the first time in almost 16 months. So I look a little bit different. I feel a little bit different. I probably lost some weight that I don't have to lose. And definitely people are responding to me differently. But luckily, there's no camera, or unluckily, however you want to kind of think about it. But we're jumping right in the draft. I'm just going to keep talking, as you probably know. NFG has the first ban, or any particular you want to see.
I wouldn't be surprised to see ROK ban out maybe Zach. But actually, yeah.
Actually,
Zach. No, I was like thinking that Zayfrey was jungle, but he's not jungling tonight. So I'm actually not really sure what this new jungler plays.
Yes, actually, you are correct. Zayfrey is not jungling for the side of NFG this evening. It is Uritas Smash. I didn't read that name until I read it out loud. So the first ban in the other case is not Zach. It's actually Alistar for the side of JS for Penguin. We have seen him pick up a few of the kind of Alistars, the Brahms, the kind of bigger, beefier, stand behind me and my nice pecs and I'll keep you alive kind of dudes. As a brand actually is banned by the side of NFG. Is that a ban for Balthazar, or what are we thinking?
I actually haven't casted any of the ROK games, and I don't typically watch the games that my team doesn't play in. So I'm not sure if this is their first game or not. Yeah, Nick just said it's their first game. Well, so I've never seen them play before. I have no idea what they play.
Well, so. See, the question here, rather, is not about our ability to make ourselves look good in determining what they can draft. It's more about whether NFG has put in the time to try and figure out what ROK does play in order to have proper bans. Kindred is kind of just a safe ban. You know, I don't know if it's particularly against Ajat or whether it's, just kind of Kindred's really good right now. But the last ban coming in for the side of ROK is a Swain. So in the first few picks for NFG or for ROK, is there anything that you really want to see? Super Scyther is definitely not going to play Teemo, but he has to hover it.
I mean, actually, I kind of want to see Super Scyther on Teemo.
He has been saying for about 6 weeks now that if his team doesn't let him play it, he will int. But he's yet to int and he's yet to play it, so something is a lie here, whether it's he's not going to play it or whether he's not going to int. He's just not man enough for it. As Graves has picked up a very, very nice pick with the Kindred ban. What do you like into it, Graves?
Into Graves, I kind of like, champions with a lot of like CC that can like go in from a distance just because Graves is like range, so probably like a Camille.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen a Rek'Sai in quite some time. There was actually a guest upon Rek'Sai ban from the Peanut Gallery. The ban did not go through, and the Rek'Sai did come out. Good job. Claps for the golf claps for the Peanut Gallery. As the Braum comes out, I was mentioning the JS Pagan does like those kind of big, beefy, daddy kind of supports. What do you want to see paired up with this Ezreal in particular, since we do have the bottom side for NFG?
I do like sorcerers with Ezreal, like maybe a Nami or a Karma. I just feel like the laning phase, personally for me, it seems to go like a lot smoother with an Ezreal, just because Ezreal's a caster as well, so you can't like really go in ham and rush anything when you have another caster.
Yeah, Enchantress makes sense. We do have the Enchantress in Nami. It also just kind of makes sense because Braum obviously is a melee support, so it's gonna be a pretty bully kind of bot lane. But I do like your sentiments. I'm not a kind of a go ham kind of one. Ezreal's fun to play, but you got to chill for the first few minutes. As an Aurelia ban, probably on for the side of Slibbering Dingus. I haven't seen him play it, but obviously a little bit of respect given to him from the side of ROK. I'm not certain whether this is an E sub or not on the side of NFG, so we'll have to see if they do have their final 2 bans. We'll find out in about 6 seconds. It is not an E sub, so they are going to be able to ban out Jax. What is the last ban that NFG needs to throw up?
I would like to see maybe an Orianna, from ROK.
I'm sorry, but the first one, did you say maybe an Orianna?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you said Mimi or Orianna.
Oh, no. I said maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, because I do know Slibbering Dingus plays Ari, or not Ari. Jeez. Orianna.
Well, we got a Vladimir as opposed to Miss Ori or Mistress Ori, whatever a Blade created clockwork Dallarina might be. And the final ban is an Akali. A couple of mid lane focused bans here. One's kind of a flex with the Swain, but definitely Aurelia, Vladimir, and Akali all kind of focused in this mid lane. And a Yasuo actually is hovered with the Akali ban. Gonna see if he locks it in. Not a ton of well, actually, there is decent knockup for them, isn't there?
With the Nami ult.
Yeah, and you got the Rek'Sai and the bubble, and he's got a Maokai. So now you got a lot of knockup for the Yasuo that you haven't picked at all. Probably saving the mid lane pick for the last pick, don't you think?
Yeah.
So what is Slibbering Dingus playing then?
I don't know. I've seen Slibbering Dingus pull out a Corki and Orianna before, and he did relatively well on both of those. Other than those 2 picks, I'm not really sure what else he plays. I do believe I saw him play one Ari game before. That's just like me seeing it, but
Cassio is hovered. How do you feel about Cassio blind pick?
I mean, I feel like it. I mean, it could be tough if it's a counter pick, you know.
Yeah. We're going to see what he goes. He's hovering at Nautilus as the last second. There's the Orianna kind of at the last moment. And, of course, the last pick and the counter pick for Unique. I do have confirmation from the production team that Fresh Burger is resting his ASMR voice. He went on a bender last night whispering into the microphone. And on top of that, he was a little bit miffed by not receiving the MVP vote yesterday. Unfortunately, he took it really personally. He saw that his dominance in the top lane and his smooth voice on the microphone was really just unparalleled, and therefore the viewers were not to be blessed with that until he gets a few more seconds to kind of relax and maybe gets a few more votes in. I'm looking at you, Skyson. That was anyway. Back to where we are, because I'm with Quasars. I'm not with Ms. Fresh Burger. Can you tell me a little bit about these team composition, starting with NFG?
Let's see. NFG, they have a really strong top laner, Shin, who has that global ultimate to come and save his team. He also has the teleport as well. Brought that along. They have the Graves jungle, who's really strong right now and can do a lot of damage late game. You have the Orianna as well. Same thing. She scales very well. Definitely a late game champion. Her knockup is a really good ability to have, especially like paired with the Braum knockup. They don't have the Yasuo AD carry. No, they have Varus, who's also a really strong late game champion. So I feel like if NFG wants to like really win this game, then they have to go for the mid to late game and not really get picked off early on.
Varus's Arrow's kind of go-to guy, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
I believe so.
Okay. I for some reason that sounded right to me. now I said it out loud, and so now people are going to clip it and prove me that I'm wrong constantly. But it was in the back of my head somewhere. So we do have the teleport, we do have the global ult from Shen. So how with this double teleport is ROK going to not only match the global presence of NFG, but how are they going to kind of push themselves through? You said a mid-game spike from NFG. How is ROK going to get around that?
Yeah, well, you do have Rek'Sai in the jungle, who's she is very mobile, so that will kind of help, have that lane presence that they might need to kind of match up with that Shen having the global ult and the teleport. And they also have the Lissandra, who, if she gets ahead, she can roam pretty well. So as long as the jungle and the Lissandra are making their presence in other lanes known, then even with the Shin having the global ultimate and the teleport, they could still very well pressure all of the lanes, not just one or two.
Where do you think is the how do I want to say this? What is the first step that ROK needs to take? As in, do they need to triple gank bot lane or something like that?
I mean, I think that really just depends on how bot lane goes early on. If Ezreal and Nami start getting behind, then they can more than well send two people bot lane to kind of help that out. But at the same time, you could get unlucky with that and have a Graves bot lane as well, and the Shin come in. I think it's really about paying attention to who's where, especially when it comes to ganking for ROK, because you could just get unlucky. And
okay,
I feel early on, Graves is going to outdamage them.
Well, you only got a few seconds. So before we get out, NFG 2-0-2-1, ROK 2-0-2-1. What's the score? Really quick.
I think it's going to be ROK 2-1.
ROK 2-1. You heard it from our analyst. Thank you all for seeing this draft. We're going to kick it to an ad and see you guys in a few moments for the first game of ROK v NFG.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate GXPC in Decorah, Iowa. GXPC is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The GXPC motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out GXPC and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Back to the GXP Championship, Season 4, Week 6. My name's Hickory. I'm going to be your caster here, but we're a few minutes into the game. We're about 5 minutes ahead because of a few delays that we had. I'm being joined here by Quasars, and we are 2-1 already for the side of NFG. They're about a 1K goal lead ahead. They must have gotten that first spicy little blood right there. Now, Quasars, tell me how you're feeling. Let's get unpack this a little bit.
I'm feeling like you should never do that voice ever again.
I can do so many voices, don't you worry.
Okay. But yeah, we missed a little bit of the game, unfortunately, because of spectator errors. It looks like Oriana's poking down the Lissandra a little bit in the mid lane, but Lissandra's just hit 6. As far as kills go, Shen got 1, Greaves got 1, and the 1 kill for ROK is with the jungler, with Rek'Sai. So.
Yeah, but there's actually 2 kills on Ajat in the jungle playing that Rek'Sai, so I would assume probably the first blood was on him, or probably somewhere in there. And there is a assist on the side of Viator. My God, does ROK have difficult names? I will bear through it for your enjoyment. Viator does have level 6 on to Super Scyther. Again, a little bit poke here. Doesn't want to all in just yet without any jungle support. There's actually really great warding for this side of NFG in the kind of red quadrant of the jungle.
Yeah, they actually have one on their blue buff as well. So.
Yeah, a really good word. Probably from the side of Eurota's Smash, who looks like he has both his words on cooldown. Same with Super Scyther. Still trading in the top, and surprisingly, Super Scyther has actually not hit level 6 just yet, even though he does have a kill and assist. I'm surprised he must have lost quite a bit of CS. His TP isn't down, though. When Viator is in. Not sure why that is. A dash away from Asadius, and actually here comes Urata's Smash. Nearsighted onto the Nami, forces Balthazar to flash away. And not too much harm. Wow, he actually flashed forward. Urata's Smash flash forward kind of like all of a sudden, kind of in nowhere, but without any backup. That's not a kill. I'm not sure about that trade. What do you think?
I mean, I do like the flash.
Oh, but there's actually an engagement here in the mid lane. Shen ultimate stand unite right on to Liberating Dingus. Liberating Dingus does drop the shockwave, but it's not enough. A nice return game from Ajat jungle, but a taunt from Super Scyther might actually be able to get this 1v1. Actually, a knockback and an ult from Viator. Really, really nicely done. The Nature's Grasp, but Urata's Smash already in the mid lane. He does drop the collateral damage, but it's not enough to finish off Unique. A lot of fighting going on so far. And yes, I am sorry about the fact that we are a little bit far, but actually an ultimate on to Super Scyther. Really easy kill with the Void Rush, and Ajat is going to back away. That's 2 ganks mid and top really, really simply after going down 0-2 as Urata's Smash just kind of blew his flash bot lane. And I am sorry that we had to start a few minutes into the game. I was enjoying myself. I was listening to K-pop. It was quite nice. Then I listened to some country. It was even nicer. And for some reason, I don't know, our production is just like really weak or something like that. I think we should probably hire a new production assistant, maybe an intern, probably someone with a better accent than Nick. But at any rate, we are in the game. 8 minutes. It's okay. We will enjoy it nonetheless. Quasars, what? There's a few things that these teams need to be doing to get themselves into the mid lane. And who has the advantage in the mid lane? You did mention it in draft, but I think I forgot.
I said that early game Oriana has a little bit of an advantage, but as soon as Lissandra hits 6, then it's going to be a little bit.
Chains of Corruptions and a flash on to Balthazar. He might walk. Oh, a nice piercing arrow from Arrow is going to get kill and large CS lead as well. It's about 20 plus. And the kill, that's a strong point for the side of NFG that is was taking a little bit of beating the past few seconds from the side of Ajat. I'm sorry, you were saying about Arrow.
No, I was saying about you asked me about early game, so I was saying about Lissandra.
Ah.
Yeah, I said early on, Oriana has a little bit of an advantage, but once Lissandra hits 6, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult in the mid lane.
Well, speaking of Lissandra, Unique is actually TPing into the bot lane. He does have the Frozen Tomb to drop. Doesn't even need it as an double kill for Ajat comes it into the bot lane. A 4-man play committed into the bot lane with the Shen United with the where was NFG?
In top lane. He's right there.
Yeah, and he's actually engaging onto Viator. A two-man engagement here, but barely Super Scyther gets out of the range of the tower. Not really too much outside of Viator. Did already have blown his flash earlier. He's taunting on them. He's dabbing on the haters as the Cloud Drake does go to the side of ROK. And actually, Twisted advances forward. He might be able to get a solo kill, but no, enough damage from Super Scyther, and Uranus Smash does take him out. Was that a little bit too much?
I mean, I feel like Graves did spend a lot of time top lane. But I mean, they got a kill off of it, so I don't think it was the worst.
Well, I meant, was it a little bit too much from the side of Viator when he was on the weak side of the map?
Oh, I mean, I feel like maybe he should have just
Another Chains of Corruptions on the flashless Balthazar. Should be a pretty easy kill. Standing 9 has come in as there's a 4-man in the bot lane for the side of ROK. They might be able to turn this around. A stun onto Ajah might actually finish. Another stun on to Unique, and all of a sudden our Arrow comes up with 3 kills all together for the side of NFG. Nothing got dead on their side. Really, really great stand United there. And I've been able to break the first brick on top of it. Looks like staying top lane was definitely the right idea for Super Scyther. I unlocked him utterly, and this can be solo gold to the side of Arrow. Wow. Oh, wow, they're actually going to be able to get the mid lane turret probably as well. No one coming to finish it just yet. Yeah, 2 towers all of a sudden. Great rotations from NFG, even though it kind of looked like ROK was kind of starting a lot of fights for the moment there. But all of a sudden, ROK is 3 gold down. It only has a Clown Drake to show for it and a little bit of chip damage on the mid lane turret. What can they do to kind of turn these first few minutes around?
I feel like they just need to, maintain their vision and just not get picked off, and to also apply some lane pressure, because I always say that NFG kind of lacks some lane pressure, but they're actually doing a really good job so far this game. So, if you don't want to give up free towers, then you need to have someone there.
I would say that 3 winning lanes is pretty good lane pressure. And yeah, you have mentioned to me many times, even off stream, that you want to see NFG hold down their lanes a lot. And we always see Arrow, get these nice leads. Sometimes he's just behind or equal with his opponent, and then all of a sudden his opponent ADC is kind of 26 CS ahead. This time he's doing really, really good. He's 40 CS ahead at 13 minutes. You're going to have a stats team check when it comes to 15 minutes what his CSD at 15 is, seeing if that is going to be probably a personal best and maybe even close to a league best as well. I'll get the stats team on that. And another Chains of Corruption, 3 hitting in a row. Viator going to be stunned up here, probably dead instantly to Arrow. That's a really easy kill. Arrow has not missed a single corrupting arrow just yet. Corrupting chain, excuse me.
Yeah, I do love that ult from Braum. Like, that was really good timing on that.
Yeah, just as the chains went down, Glacial Fissure hit, allowed him to get his passive stun off as well. There was no way that they were getting out.
Uh-oh.
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 Uh-oh. That is a solo Arrow with no flash. He's knocked up. He's dead. Easy kill given over to Ajat, the touchdown. But actually, here comes a Frozen Tomb from Unique. Big team fight here. Look at the shot wait time of this engagement was not enough, and Ajat gets another double kill, a triple kill for the side of Ajat. He's on to the races right now. 7-3, might be able to pick up another one here. Is the quadra possible for him? Cleanse is committed, but that's a quadra kill for the extremely powerful Rex side. This was a power pick for Ajat, given over to him, probably deserved a ban. He's showing why they should not have banned him out. 8-3 on the Rex side in only 14 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like Arrow just kind of overstayed a little bit in that top lane. Like, he saw that his teammates were leaving him. He didn't have any vision control, and he just kind of sat up there wanting some farm.
Well, you wanted to see some lane control from the side of RK. Why not just gift it a quadra kill to get back into the game? That seems a little bit easier to me, right? I don't really have to do too much. I'm still waiting to hear from the stats team, by the way. I haven't heard any of the confirmation as we get closer to 15 minutes with a 37 CS lead. Oh my god, I should not do that math. That's almost 40. Shouldn't have done that on air. But we'll see what the next chain of corruption is off cooldown. We're going to see if he hits 4 for 4 as looks at the bot lane. NFG is going to pick up some CS in the top side of the map. What can NFG do to kind of push this game forward?
I feel like they just need to, get that vision control in the enemy jungle a little bit to see like where the players are, so they know, like, they're doing a really good job at like pushing forward. So they just need to have that control, so they know, like, oh, someone's coming for me. I need to back out now, or I'm gonna, get killed.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe it's a warding issue, possibly. We're gonna have to see if Arrow gets stuck again. He didn't have any of winners, unfortunately, so nothing could have been done really anyway, except for maybe standing a little bit comfortable. Looks like there might be a contest over the blue buff. Not sure exactly when it's spawning. Unfortunately, I don't have the tab function because I'm not a player, but it might be coming soon. I actually might be just kind of backing off, as looks like Super Scyther might have gone a little bit too far here. He does get knocked back, and they're extremely strong. Ajat is onto him. He commits the Void Rush, and that's an easy kill. Might actually continue this fight. Shockwave is committed onto the duo, but actually here comes Unique out of nowhere. A double kill for Ajat. He's going for the triple once more. Arrow is left to dry. Triple kill for the side of Ajat with a kill picked up from Balthazar. 4 for 0 all of a sudden from ROK. Ascedius wants to make it a 5 for 0. He is going to back off as the Drake is taking a second Cloud Drake. 2-1 team fights right in a row for the side of ROK. All of a sudden, there's only a 1K gold lead that was about 3.5 just a few moments ago. And wow, they also have the Rift Herald. I forgot that they picked it up from the original team fight. Probably going to be this first tower of the game. Should be an equalizer of the gold. Unpack that for me a little bit. What just happened?
I think that, well, we saw Super Scyther get CC locked, and he saw that Graves and Ori were coming. It's just the Lissandra kind of caught them out in the jungle and was able to do a bit of damage to them. And of course, with her having Vision Rek'Sai, was able to quickly rotate into the jungle as well and help out his Lissandra. So I think it was just like a little bit of a positioning issue.
Yeah, I mean, Unique was just on top of them almost instantly. I am kind of noticing that not a lot was really committed from the side of ROK. The jungle flash and the top lane flash was used, but otherwise it was just a series of ults that are more or less off cooldown already. Not a lot of resources spent for almost an ace plus a Drake plus a mid lane tower plus a pause for the side of Ascedius, unfortunately. So how do you feel about ROK so far? They were battered a little bit, but now they're really coming back. Have they started to take this lead despite the gold differential?
I feel like at this point, like with ROK being able to get caught up like they just did, that the game could go either way. It just depends on if which team is more mindful of like where the other team is, and them picking and choosing fights that they can easily win. We do see that the jungler for the side of ROK, Ajat, I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry.
Ajat is what I'm saying.
Ajat.
I don't know if it's correct at all, but I'm saying it.
Well, I'll copy you. If you're wrong, then I'm wrong. We'll be wrong together. But I feel like Ajat, he got pretty fed early on, and he has a bit of a lead. So he's going to be kind of tough to target in team fights unless Braum can get his passive off on him relatively quickly, and they can kind of kill him early on. But we do see that he's coming out with like a good amount of damage, and they just kind of need to watch that for the side of NFG.
As we get back into the game, I have a query for you to hopefully answer. Is Rek'Sai a late game champion?
Ooh. I mean, the last time I saw Rek'Sai in any of my games was probably about 2 seasons ago, so I have no clue.
Okay.
I mean, I do see that he's getting kind of beefy though, so he might be, good for damage early on and then like tanky later.
Okay, yeah.
So
I mean,
if he's going that route, then yeah, I don't see why not.
He is also getting, he's got the Giant's belt, he's got the Warden's medals. He's not going full damage. But it might be a bush here. No, actually bounces out really comfortably, wards and walks away as 5 are bot for the side of ROK. Super Scyther with the TP and the Stand United is chilling in the top lane. This tower probably will go down to the side of ROK. There are 5 here. Not really much of a contest. In fact, it doesn't look like NFG is worried about it at all, as the TP is coming to mid lane because of Urata's smash. Just he kind of walked a wave in, and that actually got them a TP. Not a bad usage of, or not a bad trade for the side of NFG. But there isn't anything really coming up. Baron's up in a minute 10. Top lane tower probably will go down. Pings are onto Slithering Dingus. They know where he is. But the tower still has one shot. Okay, it does go down. It does go down. And it looks like the team's just kind of backing off. Kind of a trade of towers. Who came out on top of that trade, though?
For that trade in particular, I would have to say that was more for NFG because they did get they traded towers, but they also got the teleport. So
yeah, I was
having
tier 2
what's the
tower
cooldown on that now? 6 minutes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
500 seconds. That's not right at all. As the Frozen Tomb is on top. Both the duo of NFG, they've been caught out so many times. It looks like Viator might be caught out as well on the top side. Collateral damage is going to eventually finish him off for Slithering Dingus. Another kill, but a double kill for Osadius, who's been kind of quiet all this for now, but he's all of a sudden 2-0 in 3. Unfortunately, 90 CS behind, but those few kills are going to help him come back. And that lead that we're seeing accrue for Arrow is slowly dwindling every time he dies. He's died 4 times already. In 10 minutes maybe?
Yeah, I think it's just they had the vision control that time, I believe. Just I wouldn't say enough of it.
Seismic disturbances are seen by Ajat, but he might have to back off. Not too much. I wasn't paying attention to the vision personally. I like to talk about things as opposed to think about things. But either way, Arrow and Jason Pango were just way too far forward. Whether they had vision or not, they were almost at the tier 2 when the entirety of their team was at the tier 2 top. It's okay though. We got a nice CS lead in the bot lane. We got a nice CS lead in the mid lane. We got a bit of a CS deficit in the top lane, but we got a couple kills to pad it. And actually a locket for Iron Solari for Super Scyther. Can you talk about that? I've never seen Shen make that.
Yeah, so Locket, it blocks damage that your team receives based off of HP, I believe is how that works now. They changed it not too long ago. But so basically you can be in the middle of your team, shield them, and then it blocks damage for X amount of seconds. I can't remember how many. And,
grants a shield to nearby allies that decays over 2.5 seconds, absorbs up to 30 times plus 15 per level times plus 109 damage with 120 second cooldown. So 2.5 seconds is your timer.
Thank you.
Yes. He's not used it yet, though. I would assume probably is for Arrow as soon as a Frozen Tomb drops on it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just to block, generalized damage. So. Because it's for 2 seconds, there's, a little, high score that you need to beat on it. That's how I think of it, at least. I'm, trying to block more damage when I play support, but,
that's absolutely how I feel about my support items. I have to get more gold than my opponent's support. Whether or not I'm winning the game, I have to produce more gold with my item.
No, I just block because it's you blocked this amount of damage. This was your highest amount of damage blocked. It's oh, I gotta beat that. I need to block more damage.
Your team lost because you blocked all the damage, correct? It's your team's reason that you didn't win. If you're blocking all this damage. That's how I feel. I mean, that's just exactly how I play any game. But these teams have actually gotten really calm after a 24-kill game in 22 minutes. We haven't even gotten to a kill a minute yet. And for the past 40 seconds, we've just been kind of chilling, shoving up mid lane, shoving up top, bot. It looks like ROK has been kind of stacked up, while the side waves for the side of NFG are starting to kind of get a little bit bigger. It's going to require presence from ROK. Dragon in 2-1. Dragon is another Cloud Drake. Unfortunate, possibly, for the side of ROK. Triple Cloud Drake. Maybe not exactly what they're hoping to kind of close out this game. Maybe an Inferno, maybe a Mountain Drake. That being said, they haven't gotten really too many towers, so Mountain Drake isn't maybe the best. But can they go to Baron here soon, as they are checking it with the True Shot Barrage?
I mean, they definitely are already applying pressure, just with NFG knowing that they're getting ahead. So, like as we noticed, like NFG, they're kind of playing cautious. They don't really want to fight anything. I think they just know that ROK is gonna outdamage them. So I feel like if ROK were to apply a little bit more pressure in any of the lanes, really, to cause a couple players to go and back, then they could easily secure a Baron here soon.
Do they have do they ROK have a decent Baron take time, or do they really need to set some things up?
I think they need to set some stuff up.
Okay, I mean that makes sense. But there's actually really good vision control for the side of NFG, really good wave control as well. And even though ROK is quite a bit up in kills and in dragons, they're still down in gold, and they're still pretty far down in pressure. Honestly, it looks like NFG's has just kind of the run of the map, no matter how much ROK smacks them down. Eventually, however, you will just die so many times that you lose the game. I'm looking at you, Arrow, but at least he does have QSS now, so every time he gets caught out, he can get away. At the very least, Frozen Tomb, potentially by Unique, he might go in. I don't think he wants this just yet. That's 4 members, but actually, it looks like the Nature's Grasp is committed. Maybe a little bit preemptively from the side of ROK. They really want to make something happen here, but it looks like NFG has gotten the wiser. Who wins out in the late game? Speaking of gotten wiser at team fights.
Well, according to someone in Twitch chat earlier, Rek'Sai actually falls off.
I don't trust those guys.
An early game champion. So going by Twitch chat, we have a super tanky tank who's going to be there all game, a jungler that falls off, a Lysandra. I'm not really sure how her late game is, honestly. I think she just does burst damage late game. Have the Azrael and the Nami opposed to the super tanky Shen, the Graves who scales, the Orianna who scales, and the Varus who scales.
Sounding a little bit NFG favor.
Yeah, I feel like the late game is definitely in the favor of NFG.
That being said, anything that Twitch chat says, in my opinion, is the exact opposite of the truth. Ergo, Rek'Sai is the most ultimate late game champion I've ever seen. So we're gonna have to see if this 11-3 Rek'Sai with a lot of damage on the side, plus a Randuin's for a little bit more tankiness, can maybe take out Arrow again, Slippering Dingus, try and just get rid of them. See if Unique or Asadius can kind of clean things up. You might say scaling, I might say team fighting prowess, which we have seen from ROK time and time again this game so far. They really haven't lost a team fight. In fact, they even had a really nice TP play at the bot lane earlier in the game, but not too much coming out like cross maps so far. I feel like Vader's been with his team a little bit too much, as he does commit the zoning NA ult in order to get the tier 2 mid for the side of ROK. Still not catching up to the gold lead, however. Why? I know why.
I mean,
what's your thought?
Why? I was just gonna say, they're just kind of rushing to push lanes right now, and they're not really focused on farming.
Arrow is at 12,000 gold. Asadius is at 8,500 gold. A little bit of a difference in gold here, as NFG is starting up the Baron. Ajat is in the area basically, but they don't have any wards just yet. There's a true shot to Barrage to check them out. Looks like Jace Penguin's actually getting a little low. They are going to have to back out. That might give vision control over to the side of ROK, who is just going to instantly start it up, actually. They don't even care. I don't even think they finished the leash. The Chains of Corruption finally misses. He doesn't hit it. Is Arrow. Oh, the taunt from Super Scyther trying to bait it out. Whoa, there's a shockwave onto 3 of them. Oh my god, they almost killed 2 and 3 instantly. Where is Slippery Deers? Where is Arrow? Arrow needs to clean up this fight. He's on to Vader. Vader's really taking with this double kill for Arrow. Slippery Deers has a massive shockwave to turn that fight around. It just instantly deleted Unique. Instantly, pulled out Asadius as opposed to deleting him. Can they go Baron here, though, is the question.
I mean, I wouldn't personally, but they seem to want it, so.
Well, Ajat is showing himself in the in lane, interestingly enough, but he has gotten behind them. Balthazar does not have ult. Asadius does have flash. Ajat does not have flash, but he doesn't have smite. He's jumping on Jace, playing standing on him instantly. They're trying to take out Ajat. They know if they can do it, it's an instant Baron, and they are able to take Ajat. That should be Baron confirmation, perhaps. No, they're not going for. Oh, that is when the support thanks his ADC, but here comes Asadius. He wants this kill so badly, but he can't do it. It might have just left Balthazar out to die. TP is committed for Unique. Might not be the best TP as the teams are starting to calm down. I don't trust a Nick with anything. How about you, Quasars?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, our Nick is pretty bad at figuring out our statistics that we ask him to, so.
I have noticed that.
I think we need an analyst specifically for casters. Because Nick can't do both, apparently.
Well, there's a lot of shade thrown to the production side who could just turn this stream off at any moment. But a dragon for the side of ROK, potentially first non-Cloud Drake of the game. It has not been a single Cloud Drake, or Drake, excuse me, for the side of NFG. They do kind of want this. They don't want 4 Drakes for the side of Arcade. Chains of Corruptions are, oh, nice smite coming out from Yurta Smash. Might be their end of a shot. Actually, he is going to make it away. Shockwave on to Unique. He does go down. He doesn't use his Zhonya's at all. Looks like Viator's a little bit too far deep, but he is onto Arrow. Arrow is able to turn him off, however. Yurta Smash goes forward. It might be a kill trade to the back. No, Yurta Smash does get the kill onto Ajak. 4 dead cleanly for the side of NFG. The first clean fight of the game for them. They have equalized and broken the kill lead. 5K gold lead, potentially Baron lead. Where's ROK?
Ooh, I mean, I think Daddy Braum just did a little bit too much work there for NFG. Like, we saw him change targets relatively quickly and get his passive off on a lot of enemy champions there, so.
It really looked like the bot lane of NFG was going to die, but they really held it together. 8-4 is Arrow all of a sudden. 100 he has! Oh man, it had a Flame Horizon, and as soon as I said it, Asadius had to go and kill my hype. Well, Arrow was able to pick up a Flame Horizon. Good on him. A lot of gold for this Varus right here. 6K above his counterpart. Gonna have to definitely keep him alive. But for the side of ROK, how do you keep him down?
Well, NFG has 3 high damage dealers on their team. So I think that they just need to figure out which ones, you know, doing the most to them and take them out first. And I think that at this point, it's a mix between Arrow and Smash.
Between Arrow and Yurta Smash, the kind of ADCs on the team. Speaking of a stats team, they would have had a really fancy little graph telling us the amount of damage done, and we can know who is the scariest on the side of NFG. Maybe thoughts for next time, as Yurta Smash is 2 levels ahead of Viator all of a sudden. Didn't notice that, but Slippery Ninjas, interestingly enough, is 2 levels behind him, so maybe a little bit of trade-off on the experience there. What are they using this Baron buff for, though?
Well, we do see that Oriana's trying to push out the mid lane, and we have 3 people bot lane. So I think they're just trying to siege a couple more towers with this buff. And like, I couldn't think of any better use for it than to get towers at this point.
Well, they've only been able to pick up 1 tower so far with the Baron buff. It should be timing out here rather soon. The storm has been kind of weathered by ROK, who still has not been able to pick up a gold lead this game just yet. But how are they able to or how will they be able to stabilize in this game?
I feel like they just need to get a couple picks here and there and get some shutdown gold.
Shutdown gold onto Arrow, I think, would be the best one.
Yeah, I think so. He killed what, 2 or 3 people?
He does have a QSS, a Guardian Angel, Flash Heal, and Ultimate, though. Might be a little bit hard to pick up. The Baron buff still has a few more seconds on them, probably about 2 more waves as they're pushing it into the mid lane, but really doesn't look like they're not going to be able to get a lot of it just anymore. So what's the next step for NFG, assuming they aren't able to kind of really push in with this Baron buff just yet?
Oh, that's actually tough. um, I would assume that they'd try to go for, the Elder Drake just to have that buff for a little bit. Because the Elder Drake buff does help you a lot in team fights. So I feel like next they would want that Elder and then to start up a team fight against ROK.
Elders in 140. Baron should be 3.5 minutes after that, 4.5 minutes after that, based on if it's coming. I don't know. That's not good math. But actually, Viator's a little bit caught here. Shockwave on his head. Oh no! Nothing happens. Flash forward from Ajat. He sees the ult committed. He knows that he can go on him. Gets Jace for Penguin instantly, but he does die. In return, a taunt onto Unique, who's very, very low. He doesn't have any health left. He gets off his zonies, but there's nothing anymore for him. Viator gets a little bit of health back, but he's going to go down to the side of Yurtas Smash. And as Sadius and Balthazar are left to try and defend the entire base 4v2, Baron is down, but they're going to be able to pick up both the tower, probably in the inhibitor. Can they push for the game here is a real question. 30 seconds left on the team of ROK. First tower is being sieged, and there's taunt forward, flash forward onto Asadius. He cleanses out, but he might have to go back to the fountain, give up the tower, might even have to give up the Nexus. This is going to be game one for the side of NFG. Whoa, that's a really big bubble. But NFG is able to win game one. How did they come back after those lost team fights?
I feel like they just started to scale very well. Like, like I said before, like they had the Ori, the Graves, and the Varus to kind of help them, and then with the Braum passive and the Shin ult, that keeps them alive just a little bit more and puts some CC on the enemy team. So I feel like overall it was a good comp that goes into late game, and they got into late game.
Speaking of late game, Varus was able to do almost 50% of his team's damage. He did about 42% of his team's damage at 27,434 damage in a 34-minute game. Very impressive early game and then comeback from the side of NFG. We're going to throw it to a break as we get ready for game 2 of NFG versus ROK. And we're back. The GXPC Season 4, Week 6, Reign of Kings versus No Fs Given. If you guys keep trolling my mom in the chat, I'm going to ban you. I swear to God. Shout out to my mom for saying what's up and joining us. She's not really the viewership that we're used to. In case you're wondering, Mom, I'm the voice that doesn't sound like a girl. Might not have noticed that. Speaking of the girl that I'm chatting with, who is quite a bit more knowledgeable about the game.
Not really.
It is actually my mom. Yes, it is Buffalo's. TF Riley is actually my mom. My middle name is Riley. At any rate, Quasars, we are 1-0 for NFG. How does ROK make it 1-1?
I would assume that they would pick a jungler that scales very well to kind of help out that damage that they were lacking in the first game. We saw that NFG had the Graves, the Orianna, and the Varus, who do a lot of damage late game. And unfortunately, they just weren't putting out the damage that they needed to go even or even win team fights. So I would actually like to see like a big, like either a frontline jungler or a damage dealing jungler on the side of ROK this game.
There were no ADC bans at all, were there?
I actually can't remember. I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't think there were either, which Arrow probably felt pretty comfortable with. Do you think that they need to ban Arrow out or ban Jace or Penguin out? Or was that an inevitable outcome just based on the way that the game went, as opposed to Arrow got his pick and Jace or Penguin got to protect him for a Flame Horizon?
I mean, I wouldn't ban out Arrow, but I would ban some of his stronger for sure, because we did see that at about the 25-minute mark, he actually started doing a lot of damage to their team. So I think taking away an AD carry that he's comfortable on would definitely hurt NFG a little bit.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, ROK actually kind of held Arrow and Jace Penguin back. I mean, they had that TP play. They had at least 2 ganks and like a roam from Unique. But then and also, wasn't it Arrow that just caught for multiple minutes?
I mean, I think so. Yeah, like he had a good amount of peel from his Braum, and he was able to, give him the beaten.
Yeah, I mean, Daddy Braum, Jace or Penguin really likes to roleplay Arrow's Yaoi kind of. Is that what it's
fantasies?
called?
Yaoi.
Yeah. Yaoi fantasies.
You're asking the right person.
Ann knows what I'm talking about. Ann knows all about this Yaoi. He can tell me what's up to keep you in the know. NFG is 1-0 in this best of 3 VROK. Going into game 2 here soon. We did start an hour ago, so it probably should already be 1-0. I would hope. Is Yuri better? Is that really true? Are you just saying that to me?
Ooh.
I'm not gonna say what my preferences is on air. Quasars, do you want to tell the primarily male audience what you're into?
I like to read Yaoi because as an artist, I look at it and I'm like, what are these hands? And it's really entertaining for me.
Oh my God, she actually said it.
Yaoi hand.
So is that telling me then that Fresh Burgers has very large and strong hands? Bye, Mom. Bye, Mom. I love you. I'll see you later. I actually waved. I don't know what I was waving at. Yeah, so I heard that Fresh Burgers has pretty strong, large hands.
I've never met Fresh Burger, so I'm gonna tell you.
Say that.
Nina, H2O Buffalo, she can tell you what Fresh Burger's hands look like, because she actually met Nina, or she met Fresh before. Sorry.
So is it the fact that he stood you up on your date tonight? Are you just lying that you don't know him? Has he stood you up multiple times?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about the fact that your budding relationship with Freshburger is being put on hold because Freshburger is just not. He's dating someone else. He's dating Nina. He's
Oh yeah, he's totally dating Nina.
All
yeah.
right. Well, anyway, we have just a slight delay as the players are just taking a quick break, relaxing. They're getting themselves back in it and ready to go. We do have someone that's feeling a little under the weather. Want to give them just a few moments to kind of, be okay, basically. Don't want to force them to play when they're not feeling too well. I wasn't feeling too well last week, and thankfully you were all comfortable enough to give me a few minutes just to relax and get things going. You had said that ROK would 2-1. Am I correct?
I said that, yeah, that's what I said, sorry.
Yes, that is what you said. How are they going to 2-0 the next two games?
I feel like maybe just the first game they weren't respecting NFG as much as they should have been, because they did let Arrow get his Varus, and we did see JS for Penguin get Braum as well. We didn't see like too many targeted bans towards the bot lane. So I think that they were just like underestimating the bot lane, thinking like, oh, ours is better.
You know what we didn't see though?
What?
We did not see Super Scyther playing Teemo.
No, we did not.
Is that coming out this game?
So, I mean, if it doesn't come out this game, then the entirety of Twitch chat can call him out in general chat and say that he's a liar.
Should it come out this game?
Oh, I really want to see it.
I would love to see it. I mean, Super Scyther has been talking so much at mad-ish on Discord and on Twitter to his opponents that he will 1v9 as Teemo, but he hasn't pulled it out. Maybe he has a lot of bark with not a lot of bite. But we should be jumping into the draft here pretty soon. I believe it's going to be ROK on the blue side and FG on the red side. Is that correct?
Yep, that's what it looks like.
Okay, so we should have first pick for the side of ROK, but we will have the counter pick for NFG. Speaking of that counter pick, it was the Lissandra for Unique, and while his ultimates were really strong, it didn't really seem like Lissandra was taking over the game with the counter pick. Was the counter pick okay into the Orianna? I mean, he ended up with a ton of assists, but it didn't really seem like I'm going to smash Orianna and then just take over the game kind of counter pick.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Lissandra into Orianna, I feel that like Lissandra can't really do much unless she gets a gank before level 6. So after hitting level 6, we did see that the Lissandra was kind of like bullying the Orianna a little bit more, and was able to roam and like help out her other lanes. But I don't really feel like the Lissandra was playing up to like her full potential.
Well, I think there was actually an instant gank from Ajat as soon as Unique was level 6, but then we just never really saw Ajat in the mid lane again. He was constantly in the top lane and the bot lane, but it was Unique kind of following him most of the time, as opposed to being set up by Ajat. Speaking of actually Ajat, does that Rek'Sai need to be banned out?
I mean, if NFG is going for another late game comp, then I wouldn't see a reason to ban out the Rek'Sai. But if they're going for like an early to mid game comp, then I would like to see that as a ban. Or if they feel like they just had a little bit of trouble with it, then I wouldn't see why they shouldn't ban it either.
I mean, NFG usually does kind of play around their bot side, leading to kind of a late game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go late game again. Swain's the first ban for the Son of NFG, and Ornn is the first ban for the. Swain is the first ban for ROK. So Ornn is the first ban for NFG. Both are banned first rotation. Probably some respect bans coming out for both teams.
Yeah, we did see both of these bans come out in the first game as well. I believe Swain was ROK's third ban, and Ornn was still the first ban, if I remember correctly. But we did see the Braum come out for ROK, which is, I would say it's a respect ban at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. JS for Penguin seems so comfortable on that, but he also seems fairly comfortable on
You're scared.
supports. I've seen him play Alistar once or twice. I want to say that I've seen him play what's his name? He's so fabulous that he can't even handle himself. But Varus is banned, so it's going to be a
Tark?
new. Yeah, there we go. It's going to be a new bot lane for the side of NFG. There was no ADC bans at all, and total respect, I feel like, given to the bot lane of NFG, who really, while they might have had a bit of a rocky kind of mid game, totally took over that game towards the end of it. And the first pick from ROK is going to be coming in soon. So with this banned out bot lane for NFG, what would you rather them play?
I would like to see maybe a Jhin and a Morgana or a Jhin and a Karma, because I do believe I did see Arrow play Jhin before, and he was actually pretty good on him. So I wouldn't mind seeing Arrow on Jhin with a complementary support.
You had mentioned a Karma, if I'm not mistaken.
Karma, Morgana, or Nami, I feel go really well with Jhin.
Interesting. I don't know if I've seen JXPC play a lot of enchantresses. Not that I disagree with your setup. I'm not certain what his plays. But there's the Morgana, exactly as you said. We're gonna have to see if the Jhin is gonna come in as well. Probably worth it to pick for first rotation. Brand was actually banned out last game. It's Lucian. Is this Brand mid? I think I asked that last time.
I feel like Brand is a little bit better as support now, but I mean, he can still go mid. I just personally, I feel like he'd be a better support than a mid laner.
Well, with this Hover of the Draven, I do have a question. I'll see if does it go through. Okay, I had a question about Aatrox for Viator. He was playing the tank duty last time. He's trying to be a little bit more scary in the top lane. Aatrox has definitely fallen down the list, but he's still pretty strong. How do you feel about him as a blind pick, though?
I mean, personally, I don't think Aatrox is as good as he once was. He's definitely more early game, in my opinion, than late game. So, unless ROK plans on ending this extremely early, then I think that this one might indeed go over to NFG.
So, okay, so you're Viator. You got kind of beat up a little bit as the Maokai. You want to take over the game this game, and Aatrox is, banned or whatever. What do you play other than Aatrox? Because you said you weren't too into him.
That's actually really tough. Yeah, I have no clue.
Okay, that's fine.
I think like no one really plays him, but I would like to see maybe a Yorick come out if you're going for like that lane pressure split pushing top laner. Yorick's really good for that.
I saw an interesting post the other day about how even though Yorick has been nerfed very heavily, he still has the highest win rate out of Plat. Like below, I mean, Plat is like 54% or something like that. And his counterpart, who has not been banned, is like 53% is Garen. And basically the argument was, why did you nerf my main and not Garen? QQ, it's Reddit, who cares? As a Zoe banned for NFG, for the side of Unique. Shen also banned. Gonna be a pretty fully different team comp for the side of NFG. They did pick up the J4, which we didn't mention. That's probably gonna be jungle, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Okay. Kindred again banned. They don't want it to go to Ajat. They don't care about banning this Rek'Sai, though. They might leave it up once again. We'll see if he even picks it up again. While it was pretty scary the first few minutes, NFG easily dealt with it. And Orianna, 4 out of 5 of the champions for NFG are banned by the side of ROK. An incredible amount of respect given by ROK. You said you wanted them to give a little bit more respect. Well, this seems pretty respectful. As Yasuo, the not very respectful mid laner coming in for the side of NFG. Could be top, could be some flexing here with the J4 and the Yasuo. It's probably going to Slippery Dingus. Can we get the Zed in combat to the Yasuo? We don't get the Akali against the Yasuo. See if you go with Zed. It still could be a flex pick. We don't really know. As 1 second, Delsandra again for Unique. He's really feeling the pick. He felt like even though he doesn't need a counter pick, he feels pretty comfortable in the mid lane with the Frozen Witch. I think. And the last pick is probably going to be the jungler for Ajant here. Assuming that Aatrox is not a jungler. We're going to see what he gets. Is there? We don't exactly know. There's Zach, actually. You would ask for a Zach ban from the side of ROK. They're just going to pick it up. What's your response?
I feel like Lissandra works a little bit better with NFG's team comp this game. Or, I mean, against it. Like, they do not have a tanky support, as far as I can tell so far. And going to gank bot lane might be a little bit easier to get a pick. Just because, you know, they all they have really is the black shield. And if Morgana misses her snare, then you're going to have someone dead bot lane if Lissandra decides to roam.
Do you have a tank coming for the side of NFG? How do you feel about this Poppy Aatrox?
I actually really like Poppy. She's like a really beefy tank. And I feel like her ultimate definitely helps to clear out, you know, a few of the players so that way they could easily win team fights early on, just to like get rid of like whichever one's doing the most damage to them and picking up a couple kills.
A one-click should be a knock-up for Yasuo, I think. A flag and drag definitely is a knock-up for Yasuo. Nothing over the bot lane for him. I always like to think about what can get last breath in, because no one seems to ever be able to hit their tornado. I can't hit my tornado, so I like it when a Trundle jungle is just gonna, you know, give me a free ultimate, basically. But how or why is NFG going to be able to finish the 2-0 here with this draft?
Well, you do have a really strong initiation from the Jarvan. You have the super tanky Poppy. You have the Yasuo, who can ult off of, like you said earlier, the Jarvan and the Poppy. Then you have Lucian. Now I'm not actually too sure about the Lucian pick, just because like he kind of does burst damage and he doesn't have like, you know, super high attack speed to constantly put out the damage like we saw the Varus do last game. But we do have the Morgana to kind of, you know, lock his targets down so he can get that extra bit of damage off that he wouldn't normally be able to get off. So I do like I do like that team comp altogether. I feel like they might have a few issues early game with getting picked off, but I feel like late game, if they can position themselves correctly and get the picks that they need to get early game, then they'll do fine in the late game.
Sure, that makes sense. But outside of the late game potential of NFG, how is ROK going to not? I said that weird. How is ROK not going to let NFG get to this late game?
I feel like you know, they do have the Aatrox that's really strong. They have the Jarvan, or not the Jarvan, the Zac, to get a couple picks by, you know, ulting a couple of the squishy people on NFG and pulling them back and, you know, getting them killed. You have the Lissandra again with the burst damage, the Ezreal. I feel like he scales really well, but it's just like the team comp from last game didn't really help him out too much. And then you have the Brand, who also has that super spooky passive and ulti that you have to worry about, along with the stun. So I feel like if Brand can you know, help lock down a few champions for that Ezreal, then he'll be able to get some picks off early game as well.
Well, speaking of that, Brand, shouldn't the cities feel a little bit more comfortable in this laning phase with Jay's Repanion on maybe less of a comfort pick and Arrow on, at least in our opinion, a less than desirable pick?
I feel like in laning phase, like the Morgana does have the black shield, so she can, if she's paying very close attention, she can easily like shield the Brand stun and keep Brand from, you know, locking down either her or her AD carry. So that's definitely going to help them against the Brand specifically, but overall I feel like the Brand Ezreal should win lane against the Lucian Morgana, assuming that Morgana doesn't land doesn't land about half of her Qs.
Okie dokie artichokes. We're going to have to see how many Qs are hit by Morgana in just a few moments after an ad break from our sponsors.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate GXPC in Decorah, Iowa. GXPC is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4. and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The GXPC motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Orange Ryan, smoke your green, I'm spending mine, the beat is brew, but beware that shit is potent, comment on her face, now that's poetry in motion, yeah, got me. Welcome back to the GXPC Season 4 Week 6 Reign of Kings versus NFG. NFG 1 up in this best 3 series 1-0. Nothing happened whatsoever during that break. Quasars, who's getting the first blood?
Ooh, dude, I don't know.
Quasars!
I'm gonna say that it's gonna be Lucian.
Lucian on to whom?
We'll say Brand's gonna misplay and get caught out.
You're surely feeling quite confident in this first blood prediction of Arrow onto Balthazar. We'll have to see what happens as the line of scrimmage has been set by both teams. No invades, nothing fancy here from either side. Nothing really too fancy, just in general. Electrocute on Aatrox, is that seems weird, right?
I don't know. Don't ask me top lane questions.
Okay, I thought it was comment. I don't know. Maybe the Peanut Gallery knows. But they're probably going to be wrong because it's Twitch chat. But it looks like a pretty normal start from both sides. J4, Eurotish Smash getting the blue buff, and it looks like Ajant getting the red buff as well. Very convenient for Ajant to tell me what his role is in his name, by the way. Wow, that's a really big leash from the side of ROK. I'm going to get Ajant going as fast as possible. Yeah, you were saying that it's going to be bot lane for this first blood. At what time?
I'm gonna say like between like 5 and 6 minutes.
5 and 6 minutes. Let's call it 5:23 is when the first blood for Arrow is. He has the fancy new high noon. Wow, that's an airborne knock for Viator. He might be able to get his pick. Ooh, flash away from center side. Nothing happened. Don't worry about it. Viator playing the tank. Last game, he wants to bully out Super Scyther. This game, he's showing his dominance. As I was saying, it's high noon to the bot lane. Flag and drag. Flash away from Balthazar. Very nicely done. He's still level 1, though. Really quick on the flash for the bot lane duo.
Hey, now he doesn't have that, so he can give Arrow first blood.
That's exactly right. He does not have the flash anymore. Another airborne for Viator, but nothing too much anymore. Just want to see what Viator is doing in the top lane. I always like to see when someone roll swaps from the tank to the carry, see if they're feeling a little, mad, banged up. Level 3 for Super Scyther as Viator does go in. Actually, Electrocute proc might be enough damage. Maybe not. We turn away because all of a sudden Ajant and Yorta Smash are fighting. Flash away from Viator. Very, very fancy. The auto attack for first blood for Viator. He does kill him. The wind wall to dissuade the rest of the fighting in the jungle. And you were completely wrong as it was 3:15 minutes. Kill for Viator. Pretty flash from one bush into the other, gets the final auto attack onto Super Scyther. I don't think he ever got level 3 during that engagement. I'm not sure the minions ever got him there, but he is now about a 10 CS lead on his opponent, and Super Scyther is going to commit the teleport. He was thinking about it a little bit. A little bit of poking from the bot lane duo of NFG, a dash forward from Arrow, but no root for JS Prang, and Dark Binding, excuse me, is the word that I was looking for.
It's okay. Arrow will get second blood.
Second blood, the thing that the metric that we absolutely pay as much attention to as how many Infernal Dragons are taken in a game. We'll see if you are right. Stun does miss for Balthazar, and Arrow looks like he's getting the second blood. Very well. 4:23, by the way, on the timer. By the way, about a minute early on the second blood prediction. They are going to back away a kill worth of gold in the pocket of Arrow, as Sadius is left to farm without his support. That was, remember, a no flash brand from the earlier gank from Eurita Smash, who's yet to really do too much afterwards. Not that really he needs to, but he just hasn't really been ganking outside of that level 2 gank. Does he need to focus on this mid lane?
I mean, I would say, wait, who are you asking for? Sorry. Smash?
Does Eurita Smash need to get Slithering Dingus set up, or is he going to be okay versus...
I think that
Wow, that's a lot of damage. And actually he pulls him back as well. That might be the kill. Doesn't have the ult, doesn't want to commit to the dive just yet. Not a lot of CS left. He does not have flash, neither does Super Scyther, but Viator does have teleport. We'll see if he wants to dive. Probably not. He's not even calling his jungler. As Yurta Smash is actually sitting in the bot lane in a 3v2. Oh, but he does get the chain onto him. He might be able to get the kill. Viator with 2 kills. Pretty easily picked up onto the Poppy. We're hoping to get Poppy pretty tanky. What's going wrong in this laning phase?
I think, well, to answer your first question,
Yes.
Lysandra is a slippery snake, so I feel that Jarvan having presence in the mid lane would definitely help the Yasuo get ahead. Opposed to the second, or sorry, not opposed to. Following up with your second question, geez. I think that at the same time, Poppy just needs to like maybe farm under tower and wait for items and for Jarvan to come and help out.
Binding does miss in the bot lane. Dash forward from Arrow. He does a lot of damage. He might actually get it. Knight. And another kill onto Balthazar for the NFG bot lane duo. They're off to the races already. They're trying to match with Viator in the top lane, who has a 20 CS lead. He commits his ultimate as well as Unique. They flash forward. They get the entombment. They get the chains. They get the jump from Ajat. 3 deaths already on Super Scyther. This laning phase is going awfully for the top laner of NFG. Maybe he's just going to have to rely on his bot lane, as they are going to be able to pick up this Infernal Drake pretty easily when they know that Ajat had committed to the top lane.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, ROK just feels like Poppy's going to be a little bit of a threat to them later on and wants to shut her down pretty early. Which is understandable considering how tanky she gets. Like I have a friend who's a top laner, and he always says that Poppy never dies.
You know, it's okay to call Freshburger your boyfriend by now. You don't have to call him your friend anymore.
It's not Freshburger.
Okay. Well, keeping Poppy down sounds great, but what about Arrow?
I feel like maybe ROK just wants to get Aatrox a little bit fed, so that way he can jump on Arrow, but I feel like, you know, it's just like he doesn't scale very well at all, and that it's not really worth the trouble.
Sorry, he has Viator, or he has Arrow, doesn't scale very well?
Viator doesn't scale very well on that Aatrox. Sorry. So I feel like they're just kind of wasting a little bit of time top lane, and they should be focusing maybe somewhere else, like the bot lane or even the mid lane.
Well, they did focus a lot bot lane last game, and even though they kept Arrow and James Penguin down a little bit, it really just kind of ended up being the Arrow show either way. Perhaps they're trying to play from a different side of the map. We're going to have to see. Scyther's mental is never in place if he's not playing Teemo. I don't know what you're talking about. He is a Teemo OTP in the TOP. But not too much coming out of the mid lane. Dingus does have a bit of a CS lead, but the nice roam up top for Unique gives him the assist. Probably fairly equal on the gold here as we do scale over. About 200 lead for Silver and Dingus, nothing too immense. Not a lot of fighting has actually, or excuse me, 1v1 fighting rather, has come out of either of these mid laners throughout both games so far. Not a really crazy, you know, kind of 1v1 kind of matchup. They're just kind of farming up and chilling, but you never really want Yasuo to farm up and chill too much, as Unique does go forward. Oh no, the cleanse is a little bit too early, but after the tomb went off, there was a flash away. Flag drag does miss onto his shot. A shot is able to let's bounce away, pulls in Yurta Smash. He doesn't have his flash, but behind them is Liberating Dingus. He might be able to turn this around or at least get his jungler away, as the kill down for Flag drag did get him out. Probably going to be no kills on either side. Yes.
Yeah, I would like to point out that ROK has a lot, or sorry, not ROK, NFG. They swap sides, whoops. They have a lot of vision on the top side jungle.
They also have a lot of damage on the bot side, although Culling is not going to be able to finish it. Top side jungle, yeah, you're right. There is quite a lot of vision for the side of ROK. They're really doubling down on this investment into Viator. who's still really just bullying Super Scyther. Over 40 CS lead. This looks kind of like my games when I played top lane Poppy. Unfortunately, we were looking how many dark bindings from JS Penguin hit. Haven't been a lot, honestly. He hasn't been the scariest threat bot lane. Not that he really needs to be. It's just we haven't seen a lot. It's unfortunately you get a little bit more comfortable as a Sadius and Balthazar as you see less happening. But we do have a flash forward. Ultimate committed by JS Penguin. He did have the it might be too much damage for the side of Yurita Smash. Trade kill for a Sadius. No, it's actually Balthazar who does pick up the kill, but a double kill for Arrow. 3-0, 95 to 65 CS. He's extremely strong. Might have Bork finished by now, and is already over 1,000 gold ahead of his counterpart. Only 10 minutes, 11 minutes into the game.
I feel like that was really good communication for NFG. Like you saw that the Morgana flashed in and ulted, and immediately Jarvan was able to follow up. So kudos to NFG for making that play happen in the bot lane.
Yeah, it was nicely set up. We mentioned the vision top lane. There's no vision bot lane, which kind of allowed Yurita Smash to just kind of calmly walk in, jump over with the flag and drag, jump a Cataclysm on him on top, and a little bit of icing on the kick, and Arrow walks away with a double kill. And it was Bork completed. Excellent. Fantastic. Always feels good to have your first item in the pre-12 minute as an ADC. Then you get the second item as the pre-20 minute, and then all of a sudden the game's over because your top laner is 0-3 in 12 minutes, and that's when you start flaming. But as Arrow calmly gets through the rest of this game, he probably will be able to have a little bit more potential to carry, probably more so than last game, actually, as Super Scyther is going to need a little bit of bailout probably here in the next few minutes. Another dragon will be up in 40 seconds. Infernal was the first one, which is pretty nice for Arrow, Slithering Dingus, and Yurita Smash. They're all going to like that scaling drake. Let's see what the next drake is. Of course, we don't have those fancy overlays that tell us what it is, which is hay, which is more excitement. As Unique is going to get pushed in once again. A small CS lead has appeared for Slithering Dingus. What does ROK need to do to turn things around a little bit?
Well, I feel like this next dragon would be a...
There's a binding, there's a calling, there's a flag and Cataclysm, but a kill for Arrow, a kill for Yurita Smash, another 0-2 on the side of the bot lane of ROK, completely unanswered as the Mount Drake is coming out. What do they need to do?
I was going to say that ROK might want to try to go for this next dragon, just so they could have a little bit more pressure, because it is a mountain drake, but it looks like it should easily go over to NFG as soon as, they're able to find out where Zach is.
First brick does go to the side of NFG. I was hoping you were going to say something about pressure for ROK is through. Solo gold again for the side of Arrow, but let's bounce in the mid lane. Slithering Dingus does not have flash up just yet. He gets stunned, he gets entombed, he gets the cleanse, but it's just too much damage. He doesn't get away. Black Shield not going to be enough to get him out of there, but actually, Jason Penguin might have got a little bit dangerous there. Wow, there's the jump. Pretty easy kill. Double kill, in fact, for Ajat. The strong jungler coming back from the game one loss. He was 11-1 at one point last game. He's trying to pull things back this game as well. And it looks like Balthazar wants to contest his blue buff. He actually is going to be able to contest a blue buff, as potentially this mid lane tower is probably not going to go down, but a little bit of damage as the Mountain Drake was picked up. They are going to get it, actually. It looks like it. No contest from the side of NFG. That's actually going to give them a gold lead for the first time this series in 49 minutes. They finally take a gold lead, despite how many kill leads they had in the previous game. Although unfortunately, or fortunately, a lot of the gold lead, in fact, all of the gold lead, is on the side of Viator. He's 5,600 gold to the 3,700 gold of Super Scyther, but that is completely matched, mirrored, and even broken by Arrow, who is 6,900 gold to 4,700 of Asadius. Arrow is so strong right now. What can they do to it?
I would assume that they would just have, Lysandra go in and try to ult him and have Zach pull him away from his team and single him out and get a kill that way. But as for right now, that's like, that's the only way I could really see them shutting Arrow down is to like lock him down with CC.
To basically kill him or watch him kill you kind of a situation.
Yeah.
With the ADC who's already 4-0 into 15 minutes into the game. Slippery Dingus has been able to get into the side lanes. He has a Hex Drinker. He's feeling kind of comfortable. He's feeling safe versus Unique. He's just split pushing. He's chill. He is a scaling champion. Nothing to worry about. Some more CS into the pocket of Arrow. You know, the CS differential for the bot lane is not as horrific as it was last game. There was a massive CS lead for the side of Arrow and friends. Asadius has been able to keep it up a little bit better. Chains of Corruptions aren't going to do too much, as it looks like Asadius has actually been given top lane duty versus Super Scyther, who's slowly bringing that CS back, but not there just yet. What do you guys think in the chat should be the first channel emotes to come for the GXPC? What do you want to see? What do you want to spam in the chat? Tell me your thoughts. As Quasars, what are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, I think right now it could go either way. Like they're even in kills, they're even in gold. But NFG does have those 2 dragons, so I feel like they have a slight advantage just because they do have the Infernal and the Mountain Drake. But I feel like after Aatrox kind of falls off a little bit, then it should be. I feel like it would be in the favor of NFG.
Who falls off first, Aatrox or Lucian? Aatrox or Lucian?
I can't tell you that.
Well, we're gonna have to find out as the calling is committed in the this river fight. And actually, it looks like Balthazar is just gonna blow up in a great frozen tomb into the Cataclysm. Nothing to be done. Unique just turned that fight right around. 3 for 1 on the side of Rock. There they are. It's been 17 minutes, but they're finally getting back into this game. What went so right?
I feel like we did see Unique have a really good ultimate. I think that that's what they needed. Like they had the Zed go in, and then Lysandra was able to follow up with the ulti on Arrow. Oh.
Sorry, what about that fight?
I would like to say that Slippery Dingus wasn't slippery enough that time.
Well, he's slibbering, so...
No, he's slippery.
Oh.
We've established this in previous casts.
I apparently I'm not privy or savvy to this information. But Super Scyther has just been farming and farming and farming away like a good little elf kind of creature that he is. Trying to get himself back into this game. He even gets the Scuttle Crab, I think, potentially accidentally. But is a Rift Herald on there? Oh, wow, flash forward for Yurta Smash. He's trying to take out Balthazar, who's just trying to get a little bit of wards. He's just a squishy little support, and the kill almost solo given over to Yurta Smash. And True Barrage is not going to be enough. It does hit Super Scyther just before Unique is not going to be able to catch up to this. But what can they get off that kill?
I don't think too much.
Well, I was just wondering if Rift Herald's on the board, but I mean, there's 30 seconds left. It's not going to be picked up. Unfortunately, that kill for NFG not going to really turn around too much. I mean, there's a kill back from that previous team fight. ROK, by the way, exceptional team fighters. I'm very impressed with every single fight they've been in, except for there was just one kind of weirdness in the end of last game, but I think it was more of just kind of a gold difference than really anything. They just were a little bit too far behind. But that's a 5-0 V8, a 4-0 Ajant, a 0-0-5 Unique with that massive ultimate in the previous fight. These are pretty strong members for the side of ROK. as they are trying to go on to this Infernal Drake. Ajat might want to engage here. He potentially has found Slithering Dingus, but isn't able to pull him in just yet. Pressure onto the Infernal Drake. They have not just started it just yet, clearing out some wards. Another binding does actually miss, unfortunately. A lot of wards cleared out, but I'm not sure they're ready to start up the dragon just yet. 5 strong for both teams, actually. But a lot of missing flashes on the side of RNG as they do start up the dragon. They got their pressure back. They should be giving it, but they have given up mid lane pressure. Is this worth it? Quasars.
Sorry, I was yawning. Yeah, I don't think that second Inferno was really worth it.
Oh, but there's a Cataclysm on 4 of them, and Culling as well comes out. Ajat does. Where is Arrow? Can he turn this around? He gets tombed, he dashes out, he's still doing damage. He isn't able to finish just yet, but here comes Unique. Unique does go down. Arrow has not gone down just yet. He is not able to unstoppable. Is Viator. Viator goes down, Ajat gets out, a double kill, a triple kill, a not triple kill. But Arrow gets the cleanup, kind of unclean, 4 for 3 on the side, 5 for 3 on the side of NFG. It definitely was not worth it for ROK to continue for that tower. NFG got the second Infernal. They got 5 kills, 8 in 1 is Arrow. That is a scary, scary Lucian at 21 minutes in the game.
Yeah, I was about to say that I don't really think that NFG should be like starting fights like that when, you know, Poppy doesn't have the item she needs to properly peel for, you know, her carries, like the Lucian and the Yasuo. But, I mean, we just saw that Arrow can, well, like, handle that. So, I mean, I don't really know. I think that the best bet for ROK is just to, you know, kill the Lucian as soon as possible. And if they can't do that, then I don't think that they can win the game.
Well, if you keep getting 4-man Cataclysms on, it might be pretty hard to win the game, even if there is no peel for Arrow. Not sure there was anything that he really could have done wrong in that fight with Eurotoss Smash and Super Scyther giving him that much of a setup. He didn't even have to use his heal summoner. He didn't have flash up, but he didn't even have to use heal. He was pretty comfortable. And there was one little situation where he kind of had to relentless pursuit backwards, but otherwise he was very, very comfortable. Interesting mainly to see Jay's for Penguin playing an Enchantress as opposed to the defense for Arrow, as finally a binding does help disengage them. But you know, you were mentioning that Poppy Superstars wasn't there to disengage for Arrow. We were used to seeing Jay's for Penguin disengage for Arrow, and he really kind of can't, as Morgana, or as not as effectively at least. Is that a missed draft, or was the lane focus worth it?
I'm actually not sure. I think it's a bit of both, honestly. We did see Zayfrey in chat say that his team really didn't listen to him when it came to drafting this game. So maybe, you know, they didn't really think their comp all the way through when they were drafting.
Oh, who cares about listening to the management? I don't listen to management whatsoever when I cast. I just kind of say the things that I want. As mid lane tower is going to get a little bit of siege here, but not too much. Really, actually, only 1 tower has been taken. The first tower for NFG, with 3 in return from ROK. They did get that Mountain Drake, but they haven't been able to utilize it whatsoever. The Double Infernal, of course, a little bit utilized in the previous fight, but Mountain Drake's an unfortunate Drake in that, you know, if you're not shooting the tower, nothing happens, as another Dark Binding does go wide. Starting to get a little bit of question marks from JS for Penguin on this Enchantress pick. Would Alistar have just been a better bet?
I feel like because the Jarvan is tending to build what looks like damage to me.
But actually, Viator is trying to get the damage as a less just yet. Oh, 3-man Let's Bounce, 2 men, Let's Bounce. Cataclysm gets him out. There's a lot of damage coming out from the side of Unique. Unique does get a kill. Viator does get a kill. Asadius does a kill. Viator gets the resurrection from his ultimate, a stun onto Super Scyther, and a shutdown for Asadius. He's on the board finally, and a perfect 8 for ROK. The team fighting prowess of the team comes through, it shines through. They get the perfect ace, they get the inhib turret, they get the inhibitor. 16 seconds on Eurotoss Smash. Will they get the game? 25 minutes in, they're going for broke. Maybe Arrow is just too strong for them to be able to deal with it afterwards. They get 1 tower. Unfortunately, they don't get Viator though. He does die to the tower. Looks like GXPC is respawn. The Eurotoss Smash responds, delivering Dingus to respond. Arrow is about to respond. Flag and drag from Eurotoss Smash. He's going to get a kill onto Unique, and it looks like Jaj's doing him to dash away just barely. And, oh, flash forward, and the airborne, and another double kill for Eurotoss Smash. 2 dead, 3 dead on the side of ROK after the clean ace. Maybe not the cleanest of next steps. Potentially a few pings onto the Baron from NFG. It looks like they're started up.
Yeah, I think Baron's a pretty good call right now, considering that they've kind of slipped behind a little bit, and it's been hard for them to siege towers. I do feel like getting this Baron might help them get, you know, the tier 1s that are still in top lane and mid lane, and then go ahead and maybe pick up a tier 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're absolutely right. They haven't gotten really, even though they do have the Baron buff, or the Mountain Drake, even though they had the original pressure in the game, they're still down actually in gold after that team fight, and they seem to be potentially waiting on some items in their base calmly and quietly. 3 of them do leave the base at the same time. That was a little bit interesting with the Baron buff, as the Cloud Drake will easily go over the side of ROK with the inhibitor down mid lane. They still don't have pressure. They do pick up the bot lane tower, and even though ROK might have gotten a little bit too big for their britches there, they got so much pressure off that team fight that they're still in the lead and still have the pressure of the map, even though they didn't get the Baron buff. This is even going to be useful. Baron buff, jump forward from a shot. Oh, there's there. I've been waiting for the steadfast presence to knock that silly little Zac out of the way. But another tower down, and Cataclysm is committed from Eurotoss Smash. He wants to finish it off. Viator just goes to disengage. And he actually gets knocked back instantly. Shut down. Wow, that's a really great 2-shot barrage from Mercedes. Gets onto Eurotoss Smash. It looks like Eurotoss Smash is the only one to go down in that fight. It looked like something bigger was coming. But Eurotoss Smash might have just been a little bit too ahead of the play. And ROK comfortably disengages. Only thing really committed was the Keeper's Verdict from the side of NFG. Baron power play not going to be the most intense that we've ever seen. Really just kind of keeping them in this game for the time being. And another steadfast presence to knock out a shot. I'm not your boyfriend. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never met you. I can be your boyfriend, but it might be a little bit of a legal battle. As Super Scyther is knocked airborne, he tries to get out. He flashes away. He's pulled back. Let's Bounce is going to pull him back even further. Another kill for Asadius, who's 5-3. And the Baron buff probably going to be turning off here pretty soon. Yeah, actually, there's a few more seconds on it. I was mistaken about a third left, but a Slithering Dingus does go down. It doesn't matter how much left on. Finally, Arrow has decided to deal with this 4-man stack in the bot lane, as it looks like Unique's been completely uncontested top lane. Cataclysm is back up for Eurotoss Smash. He's looking for the flag and drag. He's looking for the Cataclysm, but he doesn't get it just yet. No. Not able to get it, but the top lane turret does go the way of Unique, as a 4-man stack still in the bot lane. They have double TPs up is ROK, and NFG is kind of floundering here. What do they need to do?
Well, I can understand why they don't really want to fight, but at the same time, like, you have them slowly pushing into your base and taking things, and you know, at this point, it's just like, I feel like they need to stop going in one by one and have a proper team fight, or at least maybe ignore the Lissandra top lane, have a 5v4 bot lane, and then have whoever survives rotate up. Just because, like, at this rate, they're just going to slowly lose their base one objective by one.
You were mentioning they were going in one by one. Is it a nerve issue or just issue? As they've been pretty steadily behind this game.
I think it might just be like a little bit of a communication issue, because we did see the Jarvan go in 1v4 without anybody there to follow him up. So I think, you know, he just assumed that maybe Arrow was going to get there a little bit faster, and he didn't. And so he went ahead and went in when Arrow wasn't there.
Maybe it just said, like, hey, can you be here? I'm here already. And there was no follow-up as the mid lane turret finally goes down for the side of NFG. That was probably 20 or so minutes that they were trying to siege into it. They were able to pick up the top lane tier 1, but only 3 turrets to the side of 8 turrets for ROK. Still with a small gold lead, but no Drakes. How are you feeling about these compositions as we get into the later stages of the game with the scaling?
I feel like Silvering Dingoes just isn't doing as much as he should be on this Yasuo. I may have not been paying attention, but that's just how I feel. Like, I haven't seen any really big Yasuo plays come out. And I feel like he has the potential to do damage, he's just not.
Well, what's a Yasuo that doesn't go 0-4 in the first few minutes of the game?
I mean, all Yasuos go 0-4 at some point before they finally come out and do anything.
The way that the champion is designed. He only gets stronger he only gets strong enough if he is fed 4 kills in the first 10 minutes of the game. Otherwise, he's just not a very good champion.
You have to int before you can do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of inting, hopefully no one does, as they're about a minute before anything really comes up. But Super Scyther actually is going to get engaged here, Steadfast Presence, to try and get him away. Unique is going to go for it, gets the root, but does not commit the ultimate just yet. That's a really tanky Super Scyther, who is just going to knock them away with the ultimate. He's pretty comfortable. He didn't have his flash, but he probably didn't need to use it anyway. As Vader did actually use his flash, but didn't see when or where. It must have been in the mid lane somewhere, as he does have the Guardian Angel plus his ultimate. Siege onto the mid lane inhibitor has begun, and Ajat sitting on a ward is ready to jump in. But they don't have Baron. It's not up for about 50 seconds. No Dragon. I think this is going to be Elder Dragon, I believe, in 30 seconds, which they definitely want to keep out of the hands of the 3-stacked NFG. But their siege potential can't be that strong, can it?
I mean, they do have, you know, 3 ranged champions, so I feel like slowly but surely with the minion waves constantly pushing in, that they could definitely auto-attack it from a distance and get a little bit of damage off. But I don't think they can siege it with like all 4 of NFG's players, or sorry, all 5 of NFG's players sitting there.
Black Drag for your toss smash to get away. Maybe was not actually the ghost sign to get the dragon. Actually, it had spawned just before the 30-minute timer, so it's going to be a Mountain Drake, 5th Drake of the game before the Elder comes up. Now 2 Drakes into the pocket of ROK. They now have equalized the Mountain Drake score, feeling a little bit more comfortable. The pressure mid lane has given them a bit more control of the map, but things have slowed down quite a bit. A little bit more calm, even though we still haven't gotten parity of kills per minute. There's 35 kills in 34 minutes, but not as much of the action-packed past few minutes that we have had. Haven't seen any flash, flag, and drag cataclysms, speaking of, from Yurta's Smash. Maybe we do need to see that from him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they could catch out the 3 players mid while Aatrox is backing and, you know, Zach's trying to position to go in, then it would be really good for them. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, because it does seem like they just want to kind of play back for that Baron, maybe.
Well, they do have vision control over the Baron pit just yet, except for that one pink ward kind of the top side of the river, which isn't going to get found out. But on the side of ROK, they don't have any vision whatsoever of the Baron. The blue ward is committed, but oh no, y'all, Sadius is just completely out of nowhere. He's gonna get Viator killed almost instantly. Ultimate is popped. Where's the Let's Bounce? It's gonna be big. The Entomb is big, but the Cataclysm on top of it. Let's Bounce basically actually just got a shot killed nearly. Your Super Scyther still feeling really strong. He wants to re-engage onto this. Arrow does finally pick up a kill. The first kill of the team fight. Ajad returns a kill on a Slivering Dingus. A shutdown was picked up from Arrow. The second kill as the third kill for Ajad. Back and forth. He is both teams. Super Scyther really trying to bully out Viator, who was fighting him most of the game. Flashes away, but it might have left Arrow out to dry. Arrow actually does pick it up instantly. Super Scyther returns the favor. The knockback, the shutdown for Unique. But Unique actually gets shut down instantly by Arrow himself, and it should be barely a one-team fight on the side of NFG, but they will not be able to get Baron. They will probably not be able to get too much else whatsoever. These team fights are so close. They're so back and forth. How are they pulling out these wins?
I just feel like it's gotten to a point where Poppy's really, really tanky, and, you know, the initiation from Jarvan's really good. Unfortunately for Zach, he couldn't quite get an ulti off that he needed. He did get 4 people, but unfortunately half his team was already dead by the time he got that off, or at least like really, really low.
Seemed to go the kind of wrong way.
Yeah. So I think it's just like a little bit of a misplay on Zach's part, and then also, you know, Poppy being super, super tanky like she is, she's able to heal. We did see her go in and save Arrow for just a little bit, able to get one more kill off before he died. So that's the kind of peel we were kind of looking for earlier on, and we didn't quite get because Poppy did get behind in the early game.
But yeah, the re-engagement onto Super Scyther just didn't really go anywhere. I'm actually mainly surprised that Asadius didn't instantly die. That was my first amazement of that team fight. He did get out Viator, disengaged him perfectly, but the re-engagement on the Super Scyther just was nothing. And then, yeah, unfortunately, the star jungler on the side of ROK really just didn't come through, as the Baron control, the vision control, is back on the side of NFG, but they're not yet starting it up. They do have vision on most of the side of ROK. Super Scyther is pretty far away. He does have teleport if anything breaks out. We have a bush here, a Fnatic bush, and all of a sudden the shot is in. But he might have gone a little bit too far. Cataclysm on a 2-3, and it looks like Arrow is free, shooting on to everyone. Super Scyther picks up a kill. Silvering Dingus picks up a kill. Arrow picks up a kill. JS for Penguin picks up a kill. That's more than 3 kills, but those are the kills that have gone through. Flag and drag onto Viator. Yurta Smash really wants to finish this off. They're not going to get just yet. Asadius actually does pick up a kill, I think with the help of the tower. Might actually stop them from going to the Baron. They might still go. They don't have the smite, but they're feeling like they can do it. True Shot Barrage is down for the side of Asadius. Probably the best way for them to really steal it. I don't know if Blue Buff is up. Blue Buff is not up for Asadius. They're just going to have to assume that this is going on. The second Baron of the game will probably definitely go to the side of NFG. A much cleaner fight from NFG than the previous 2 we've seen.
Yeah, I feel like that was really, really good for NFG. Like, we saw Arrow was able to stay in the backline and not get picked off. So he was able to do the amount of damage that he's meant to do. So that was extremely helpful for NFG, just to like have him, you know, survive. Because we did see earlier that he was not the last to die. He didn't quite get the peel that he needed. And I feel like that's why it was a lot closer, that last fight, than it was this past one.
Speaking of not dying, he has a Scimitar, a Guardian Angel, a Bork, and a Death Stance, and a Black Cleaver. That's going to take a minute for Mr. Arrow to go down, as his heal is back up. His flash will be up here in just a second, and his Guardian Angel will be up in, that looks like about 45 seconds or so, just in time for this fancy little Elder Drake to come up. 3 stacks for the side of NFG will be pretty fantastic. Two stacks for the side of ROK would be enough to get him back into this game, especially with their team fighting prowess, and they do have priority over the Dragon Pit right now, as Super Scyther is trying to clear out this wave. Let's see what the teams want to decide on. Pressure actually has been given back to NFG. They have gotten the wards cleared out, and ROK's had to back out a little bit here, but Ajant has a big gap closer that he's probably ready to jump in at just any second. The knockback from Superstar could be huge, but it doesn't go on to anyone. He has to cancel the ult before it times out. Here comes Ajat. He gets stopped by the presence, but he does get the smite off. Let's Bounce was onto, looks like Yurta Smash, who cataclysms away. Asadius picks up the kill into Yurta Smash, but where is the star player? Arrow, he gets the shutdown, but Arrow does go down. No, Arrow's actually in the back line fighting 2v1. He does get a kill onto Balthazar, but it leaves Ajant and Viator alive. Super Scyther being the last man standing in this fight. Summer Dingus actually has turned around to help him keep this fight alive. Summer Dingus had not disengaged. It was my mistake. It looks like Ajant's going to be down. Probably an ace for the side of NFG. Not as good as previous fights, but that's 4 team fight wins for the side of NFG. Although they did not get the Elemental Drake. Interestingly enough, despite the score, despite the gold lead, despite the dragon lead, the viewers are heavily in favor of Reign of Kings with a 67% vote. Only 33% of the vote is going to NFG, as NFG is sieging onto this tier 3-2 in the bot lane. Big votes.
Yeah. I feel like NFG might be able to take an inhibitor here. They do have some people respawning, but I think they're ultimately just gonna have to back out, unfortunately.
Oh, nice knock away from Super Scyther to keep them both alive. Unfortunately, that top lane turret never actually went down after the original team fight one. There's just 1 health left. Let's see what actually the health is on it. It has actually regenerated quite a bit, but it was probably less than 100 health at one point. And unfortunately, it didn't go down, but no one hits down on either side, actually. I think it was a little bit more respectful from NFG. ROK got kind of disrespectful after a team fight, which turned things around at the Nexus turrets. But, we're getting to full build situation here, 42 minutes into the game. People aren't going to be getting too much stronger. Let's see, we got half an item left on V8 half an item left on Ajant. Full build on everyone, but Sliver Ningus and Yurta Smash on the side of NFG. But it's particularly the 2 ADCs that I'm looking at that are full build and good to go. They're not going to be getting any stronger. So who has peaked between Arrow and Asadius?
I feel like it's Arrow, just because we see that, like, I just feel like he's doing more in team fights than Asadius is.
Asadius went Gauntlet again this game. I know he's been bullied quite a bit, but would Trinity Force been a little bit of a tipping point for him in either one of these games?
I feel like in this game, Trinity Force might have been a little bit better than Gauntlet.
Should he potentially rebuy a Trinity Force now that he is full build? I mean, now that he has a Scimitar, Gauntlet, exceedingly valuable. Compared to the Trinity Force, that is.
I mean, I honestly don't think he will.
Well, we're gonna have to see what the final team fight is. A 4K gold lead, by the way, for Arrow, which is the primary gold lead of the entire game. Let's see if this engagement comes in from Ajat. Ajat's just walking at him. He does not jump into them just yet. Besides, Super Scyther's pretty tanky. He's pulling up a lot. There comes Arrow's ultimate. He is committed onto Viator. The Cataclysm in the top side of the fight is going to disengage him a lot of it. Arrow actually does get a double kill, clearing up most of this fight onto the support and the jungle. Slippery Thieves might get a little bit too far there, but it does disengage the bot lane. The inhibitor goes down. I'm not sure if they can push too much farther. Still pretty decent health bars, as actually Arrow wants to dash forward. He wants to clear out this game right now. He feels it. He wants it. He doesn't get the turret just yet. Turret finally does go down, but a lot of damage has been taken on the side of NFG. A few more seconds on Balthazar, a few more seconds on Ajat. Let's see if they want to stay. Let's see if they want to rotate. They've got a small wave here, but not a big one. Flag and drag for Yurta Smash. Might have been too far, but not. Doesn't go down, actually. Does get out. There was actually a last breath on the backside of the fight. Slippery Dingus finally gets a kill onto Viator. Shut down for Asadius. He's staying alive. but he's not going to be able to turn around just yet. He's 1v4. Can he do the unthinkable? He is not going to be able to do the unthinkable. A 2-0 hard-fought win from the side of NFG. What would have happened had ROK not all in at the Nexus turrets?
I mean, I think that like just by not backing out a little bit earlier and letting NFG clear out their team a little bit more when they were all up in NFG's base, that kind of gave NFG the opportunity to close any gaps between players that were apparent and have their team comp, which was a little bit stronger in the late game, go and finally be able to get to a point where they could win any team fight against ROK and ultimately in the game as well.
Well, they did end the game, which gave them a 2-0 win, which means that we need to pick an MVP of the game. Who do you think that might be for the side of NFG?
I feel like that is Arrow for sure.
Right on. Sounds good. Arrow ended up that second game at 14-4 and 11. Definitely not nearly as much of a damage share for him, but it did go to 42,000 damage. We are joined by Arrow. How you doing? Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, man. It was a hard-fought victory.
Yeah, they really, really pushed you to the limits. It was very cool to see ROK play. How did you feel particularly about their team fights?
Yeah, their team, that Zach and yeah, they played really well in team fights. I think they just got outskilled this game pretty much. The Ezreal had Gauntlet, and so we beat them. But yeah, it was pretty hectic. I was kind of confused most of the time. I didn't really know what was going on.
Why do you mean confused? Can you elaborate a little bit?
There's like a lot going on. Like especially with the Lissandra, I have to watch out for the ult and the Zach ult. There's just a lot. It was pretty hectic, but we had good communications throughout, and we focused the right targets. And that got us the W.
Awesome. Quasars, what do you have to say?
What do I have to say? I did notice that you were kiting really well on Lucian. Like, do you have any advice for players who are really bad at kiting? How can they get better at it?
Well, if you're the thing about kiting is you need to identify your risks, like what's going to kill you in the team fights. So things like Lissandra are or Zach are, Aatrox. And if you can identify all the risks in a team fight, it's important to wait for big cooldowns to be blown. And always save your dash, especially on Lucian. You always have to save your dash unless you can guarantee the kill, because if you don't save your dash and you use it aggressively in a team fight, unless you have QSS, you're pretty much going to get perma CC'd. So make sure you always save your escapes, especially also on Ezreal, Tristana. Make sure you save the escapes until big cooldowns are blown, and then you can go all in. And yeah, that's what I did in the team fights. I waited for Lissandra to ult before I did anything. So yeah, pro tips.
What else, Quasar?
I was gonna ask you if you had any questions.
Well, I am kind of interested. You had mentioned there's a lot of hecticness coming, particularly from the side of Lissandra. So this is a newer team coming in. How much time did you spend preparing for them, as we did see Lissandra double picked?
We practiced a little bit. We weren't too worried about Lissandra particularly. It was just, her ult is just as long as you get Q. But yeah, we prepped a little bit. We really just beat them, I think, through rotations. We rotated really well. Our shot calling on the rotations were really well. So I think that's how we beat them mostly.
Well, this is going to put you at 6-4. Which will put you third place. Yeah.
All right.
Which put you third place. Pretty nice. How are you feeling as this is the 6th week, buddy. How are you feeling about your playoff prospects?
We're going to win this season.
We're going to win this season. Nice.
No one's going to beat us.
Nice. I like it. So who are you targeting in particular?
White Lotus. That's our target.
Okay.
You gotta aim for the top.
Sure. I feel like everyone's targeting that. Is there anyone else?
All right. Anyone else? I think for me personally, RDE is a target for me because they beat us last year in finals. When I was in finals last year, they beat us. So I think RDEs would be my personal target. Team wise, I think we come into every game with the same mindset of, just trying to clean execution. But yeah, for me, maybe a little bit of RDE. Shout out to KTA.
Awesome. Speaking of shout outs, do you have anything that you want to tell the viewers? Do you have one thing you want to tell us, your teammates, or anything like that?
I think all my teammates did well. I think anyone could have gotten this interview. All of my teammates played well, especially top lane, who gets stuck on a tank every game. I feel for the top laners. I feel bad for Scyther. He wanted to bust the Teemo out.
He's been trying. Maybe he'll get it.
Yeah, he's been trying to bust it out, and we've been saying no. But yeah, Euro smash, baby.
Are you gonna let him? Is it gonna happen?
Yeah, I think eventually, sooner or later, he's just gonna stop and just auto lock it in. So yeah, I think eventually he'll get it. You gotta let the players have some fun.
Do you have I don't want to give your secrets away, but just like yes or no, do you have a draft built around Super Scythe or Super Teemo?
Yes, we have. We're all gonna play meme picks, and we're just gonna meme it up, baby.
Awesome. I hope to see that in the near future. Arrow, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on getting third place so far in the league as well. Thank you very much for talking to us. I hope you have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Relax. Yeah, thanks, dude.
All right, see ya.
Quasars, do you have any closing words for us?
Tonight, I can't really think of anything right now, unfortunately.
Do you feel better about NFG's laning potential? Or is it just a
Yeah,
matchup?
I feel like NFG did a lot better as far as lane pressure and vision goes. I have mentioned every single time that I cast them that they just seem to lack that lane pressure and that vision control. But for the first time, I think this season, they have definitely proved me wrong. Because I heard that I was casting NFG tonight, and I'm like, oh, okay, same stuff. We're gonna see like the other team have pressure in lanes and vision priority, and we just didn't really see that the first game, and it actually like surprised me. I was like, what is this? Is this actually Reign of Kings? Like, and then I looked and I was like, oh no, it's NFG. So kudos to NFG for actually listening to what I said, taking my advice. I'm assuming they took my advice.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But
it's not like I'm gold or anything. No.
With that advice, they were able to take the 2-0 tonight against a pretty impressive ROK. That was the first time that I've seen them. I believe it's the first time they've played. Their team fighting potential is pretty monstrous. Gonna have to look out for that more in the future. They're still in the running for the playoffs. After this game, they're gonna be 3-7, I believe, with RDE sitting at 5-4, just above them. Still able to pick up a few wins here in the closing weeks of the season, but the season hasn't ended just yet, so don't you go anywhere. We're going to see you tomorrow as per usual. Thank you all for tuning in to GXPC Season 4, Week 6 between Reign of Kings and NFG. A very, very hard-fought win. 2-0 does not belie the way that this matchup went. It was not a stomp by any means. A very, very close matchup coming in here. Thank you all for tuning in. My name's Hickory. With me has been Quasar. Nick has been the production. You've all been beautiful. Have a good evening. See you guys soon.
Good night.